authenticity.
Craig's wanting everything to be perfect this morning. I
When
know,
do
we're
I not?
actually matching.
When do I not?
It's weird.
Well, yeah, that's good.
Makes our show look more professional.
More professional. I like how we have a glow from the cabinet behind my head.
I like how you look like you're 5 feet taller than me right now, too.
All right.
Put it down. There we go.
Wow, that looks
That's
weird.
better. I like that better.
Hey, everyone.
It does look super
I'm Craig's
weird.
little brother, Craig. Nice to see you guys.
Craig Jr.
Excuse me. Stop coughing. I gotta wait.
You started it. It's this whole allergy thing.
What's up, Kish? What's up, Nancy?
Is anybody else's allergies bothering today? It's terrible.
I'm allergic to Nicole.
There's like pollen going through the air everywhere. It's awful.
All right. What is up, and good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to you too, Nancy Gagner. So, are you guys having a great week? We had a great week.
We did, yeah.
We did?
It went by super quick, too.
Nicole asked me like a question like, we did? We did have a good week? Happy Friday, Jessica. All right.
Today's a little stressful, I'm not going to lie, but you know.
The Dokic. DJ Steve. Okay. We've got an amazing show for you. I say we've had great shows before, but this is probably the greatest show we've ever even tried to tackle.
This might be our most controversial show, maybe.
It is so controversial. You guys right now won't even know how to act when we're done with this show. It is crazy. We're going to blow everyone's minds. What was that purple commercial where that people's heads would explode?
Jessica said she saw a germ fly over your head. That's funny.
All right.
Hi, Brad.
What's going on, Brad? Half our office is watching. Great. Go get some listings, office. What are you doing?
No, we love it that you watch. It's only 15 minutes. Stop
Steve
it.
overselling. Steve, it's known as puffery.
Yes.
I'm engaging in some puffer.
He is overselling a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So I know what you guys are all wondering. What the heck are you guys gonna do? What's the show about? Well, guess what? It's about our good friend Zillow.
Yep.
Zillow, is it a friend or a direct competitor? Excuse me. Competition? Whatever.
Friend, foe, do we hate them? Do we like them? Not sure. Let's talk about it and find out.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Number 5. Consumer expectations.
So consumer expectations, what do the consumers expect, right? So Zillow has really placed themselves for the number one go-to website for consumers. I mean,
Yep.
hands down. They've done a very, very good job of this. They did this under the radar for several years. And now Zillow's the place to look for houses at.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm torn because I see it from both perspectives, I guess. In one way, I think, I don't like having to buy leads from Zillow on listings that I generated and things like that.
Yep.
But at the same time, I firmly believe, and this is going to be controversial, and realtors are going to hate this, but I think realtors kind of caused this problem because we lost sight of the consumer maybe 10 years ago.
Yep.
We didn't have a good answer for them. So Zillow comes along and says, people want to know what these houses are all about, want to know the prices, want to know all the information. And Zillow created a great platform that people could look at, that customers, the consumer could look at.
They use tech. We talk a lot about tech and how tech is
Yeah.
changing this industry. This is the bullseye that you can see where technology has transformed real estate, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like I said, there's two sides to this coin, I believe, and honestly, sometimes I don't know which side I fall on. I don't know if I care, to be honest with you.
So it kind of rolls us into number 4 because it's listings, right?
Number 4.
You have a seller, you go to a listing presentation.
Yeah, it looks weird.
They are likely going to expect that their listing is going to be on Zillow because Zillow has made that expectation clear to buyers.
Yeah.
So, you can look at it as free advertising for your listings, which is good, and it's going to get out there in front of, basically everybody in this whole entire area when you have a listing, and that's great. But that's another consumer expectation is your listing, it's going to be on Zillow, and that's just going to be the way it is.
Yeah, and I do think it is a great advertising vehicle and marketing vehicle. I mean, Zillow has so much traffic. I almost feel like you're doing your seller a disservice if it's not on Zillow. I find it really hard, and I know there are some agents that will disagree with me with that, and I respect their opinion, but I do think that because Zillow has so much traffic, there's so many buyers traveling on Zillow, virtually. If you don't put your seller's listing on Zillow, I think it's short-sighted, to be honest. I really think it's not as much exposure as you could be giving your seller.
Yeah, and really, I mean, in general, it's almost we do have a choice in the MLS to put it on Zillow or not, right? Obviously, it's going to go to realtor.com regardless, because that's just how we are with NAR and things like that. So you can't stop it from going onto the internet, you know, so it is likely doing a disservice by also keeping it from Zillow because you are going to not have as many views. I have a seller right now who literally looks at Zillow every day to see how many people have looked at the house, how many people have saved the house, how many people have looked at the video, like everything. So, you know, people are very well educated on that platform.
Yes, people are very well educated.
Okay.
All right, let's go to number 3. Ooh, Jeff Lyons is watching.
Hi, Jeff.
All right.
I feel like we're a celebrity now if Jeff's watching us. I'm just saying.
He has good videos. I like his videos.
Your videos are
They're funny. Yeah. And good.
So,
informative.
yeah.
Yeah.
So number 3 is flex pricing. And this is... What?
I do the numbers.
Oh, sorry.
Number 3 is flex pricing.
So
I don't know what it means. I showed up late, so let's see what Nicole has to say about flex pricing. Nicole, what do you think about flex pricing?
So remember, the title of this is Zillow Friend or Are They a Competitor, right? So flex pricing now, they are actually testing this in some markets where they're actually, you know, they give you a lead and you're paying them a referral from that lead, right? It's in a very, very small sector that they're doing this. But the thing is, Zillow is also brokers in some states. If people don't realize that, and that's kind of where that slippery slope starts. They changed CEOs recently. They did a whole lot of things, and supposedly this particular CEO is more into maybe becoming a competitor for us.
Yeah.
That's the rumor mill.
Well, and I do think they are doing that, and I think they've been very clear that they're openly doing that.
Yeah, at this point.
And okay, and Jeff, I agree with you, man. That's what we were just saying. It's I think it allows so much exposure. I think you're doing the wrong thing if it's not on there.
Yeah.
And that's just my personal opinion. I've got some friends that do not syndicate their listings to Zillow, and that's their choice. That's fine. They explain it to their sellers, and their sellers are okay with it. I just disagree. All right, are we done with flex pricing?
I think so.
What is flex? I don't get it though. Flex pricing.
So basically, instead of you paying for leads up front, like most of us, we have a marketing budget, we pay for the leads up front. Flex pricing, you only pay for it when you close it. So you don't have to pay for the lead. They do that in certain sectors right now, yes. I've been on a research team for the flex pricing.
So they're looking at trying to get referral fees instead of...
And it's supposed to be in markets that like they don't have a lot of interest in for premier agents. So technically that's what it's supposed to be for. We'll see how it goes. They like to test before they do any of them. Yeah,
and Steve, I'm not sure what surge pricing is anyway. Do you know what surge pricing is? We got a question from a fan.
Is that like surge pricing? No, the surge pricing, I believe, is when you can kind of take over the market. So there's only maybe 2 agents in there and you pay a premium price to keep other agents out of that market.
I got you.
I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
I got you. Okay. Now, we are going to proceed, folks, to number 2. iBuying.
So I think the hottest topic...
Hold on. Let me just start by saying this is not what you guys think it is. We're not talking about purchasing eyeballs. Go.
So we're talking about Zillow purchasing homes, kind of like Opendoor and other
not
things.
Eyeballs.
And they've now expanded that market. I think they're in 12 or 15 markets now. Basically where the other big players are. I feel like Northwest Indiana is we're kind of set a little bit. A lot of times we get things at the very end of what they're doing. Basically because our market's a little bit different than other areas and we're not considered like a huge metro like Chicago would be. I know like some of the flex pricing is in Chicago right now. I don't think they're doing iBuying yet out there. But they're basically buying homes and slapping some paint, some minimal stuff on them and then reselling them. What we've seen in the news articles and things is they're really not making a whole lot of money off of it. But their whole point is Zillow's always been all about making the transaction easier for the consumer. And they feel like doing iBuying, where they can come to them for mortgages, where they can do all of these things, it makes everything streamlined for the consumer. And that is really what they're looking for.
And I got started in 2001 in real estate, and I think the process has been largely unchanged, and I think it's a very archaic process. I mean, Why does it take at least 30 days to close on a house? I don't know why the mortgage process takes so long, and I know we've got some mortgage brokers watching, but it's like, why does that take so long? Why does the buyer have to sign 400 pieces of paper at closing? It's just dumb. It's just such an old school practice. I don't know why it's not like better.
I think I read somewhere in the next couple of years, most of the title companies and everything are all going to be electronic signature. I know HUD has changed to that where they will allow electronic signature. That's been a recent change. So really these tech companies that are pushing the envelope are making other changes mandatory within, our industry that we haven't had before. So
it's a good point, Hanson. It's a good point.
For us, I'm always a non-paper person. I'm always trying to do the technology, always trying to push that envelope. And so I think sometimes
she writes on cloth.
Where I find Zillow is my friend is they think of out of the outside box ideas that sometimes I can implement in my own business.
Well, they're Facebook friends, everyone, so whatever. She doesn't invite him over to the house for dinner or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
But, sorry, I got a call.
Freaking Hanson. We're so unprofessional.
Whatever. So I think in general that is my thoughts on Zillow a little bit.
All right. So now the number one. I don't know how this should have been number 5, I think, but Nicole did the list, so whatever. This is what happens when I show up late. What is Zillow?
So I think overall, what you guys have to remember is Zillow is a marketing company. You pay for marketing. Keep that in mind. So you should not have just one marketing avenue. You should have several marketing avenues. And you should be prepared if one marketing avenue falls through. And so that is, Zillow can also be a friend and a direct competitor on both sides of this. Your friend is in, you spend marketing dollars there, you get leads off of it, as long as it's cost beneficial to you. But direct competitor, because they're also letting your direct competitors, advertise with you in those areas. So you have to have your stuff together to make sure that you're using those marketing dollars wisely.
And again, I can't hate on Zillow. I mean, it's a brilliant business, and what they did is they took a void and they basically, where the consumer was not being taken care of properly, and they filled that void, So I think it is, I think that they did a good thing. They did a good thing for the consumer, and
they did.
And I think that's why we shouldn't be so resentful that we weren't taking care of our own customers as well as we could have.
Yeah, and I think it was just the whole technology piece. As realtors, we were very much missing that, and until we were pushed into that platform, I don't think it really resonated as well. Now it's like you have that fire under your feet that you have to stay ahead of them. You have to do something else. So it really makes you as a realtor think about your business and your marketing plan and how you're going to get leads and consumers and whatnot. So,
well, I think we nailed it, but I like, Nancy Gagner just asked a great question. What about those, I'm sorry, she must have misspelled it, Zestimates. Now, again, Zestimates are interesting because it's largely based on an algorithm, which is top secret. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But they do, they take a bunch of different data points and then they come up with some equation how that comes up with a valuation. Is it accurate? I think Zillow's CEO, the former CEO, is very famously said it was about 60% accurate in their best estimate. And I think that's interesting. Some of them are close, some of them aren't, but I think, we have RPR tool that's very similar. They're accurate sometimes they're not. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of RPR. I always like to do things by hand. What I tell people about Zestimates is this is how Zillow used to do their Zestimates. They would literally take an entire town and they would do price per square footage based on the sales that the realtors input into Zillow and local records, right? You and I all know that, the county's behind on putting in sales prices and all those other things. So none of that information is ever accurate. So what I always like to explain to clients is, I love Zillow. They bring me clients and that's great. And I explain to them that it's a marketing company, but they don't have access to all the records that we do. They don't have access to all the MLS records we do until they either become a broker and have access to that, or we give them that information. They're not going to be accurate ever.
Yeah.
They can try and 60% all day long, but it's just not going to happen. Like Jeff Lyons said, there's never a replacement for an expert. There isn't. We know the area. Zillow can fly drones in and do everything they want to, but it's never going to be a replacement for us.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's what realtors need to understand is, it's a relationship business and we have that relationship and we need to nurture that and maintain that. If we try to say, well, we're a tech company and we're doing, all this tech stuff and things like that, I don't think that's the right answer. I think, if they wanted tech, they would only use Zillow and they wouldn't be using realtors. But 92% of all home transactions in 2018 still involved the real estate agent. So, which is what it's been historically for the last 20 years. So I don't think that's changed much. So I know realtors are very scared about change, but it has not changed. So we need to maintain relationships with our past clients and our customers and be that expert for them so they don't have to look elsewhere for the answers.
It's all about balance. You need a balance. You need a balance of, your past clients and also marketing and branding yourself. And you just have to choose how you're going to do it. And I think overall, Zillow can be that vehicle for you, but you need to keep in mind what Zillow really is and how you're going to use it. Embrace it if your clients like it, but realize the limitations and what you're going to do to grow your business elsewhere. Yep. Because you should not rely 100% on Zillow ever, or any company, Zillow, Realtor.com, any of those companies out there, because when one falls, you're going to be dead in the water.
That's a terrible image.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't want your business to totally die because you didn't pay any other attention to any other pillars of your business.
Nicole's saying don't put all your eggs in one basket or you will die.
I don't know about that, but happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. All right. All right, thanks everyone for watching. You guys are amazing. Feel free to share our video out as many times as you can. I would appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
This one was late today for once, so it wasn't me, just so you guys know.
I admitted it was me. It was 100% me being late this morning. Nicole wrote the whole show in cursive, so I could barely read it. So
I think I did that for like the last 3 weeks because he likes to show my handwriting.
Oh, by the way, happy anniversary. This is our 1 year. Last year, this day was the first time we did our video. Yeah. This is episode, I think, 52.
Shut up.
Right?
That's awesome.
Right?
I had no idea. I knew it was this month sometime, but I didn't know when.
Yeah, so thanks everyone. Yeah, I think it was June 6th last year was our first Nicole and Craig show.
We can't say enough. We appreciate you guys so much for watching all the time. We enjoy doing the show, obviously. I enjoy picking on Craig repeatedly. It's always my fun Friday fact. So we appreciate all of you, especially watching, and the people that have been watching us from the beginning. We love you guys.
Yep. Thank you guys. Love you guys. See ya. Have a great week.
Bye.
And if you are at our office, go get some more listings. Thanks. Bye.
Finish. Hit the button.
Oh, good thing that's done. Remember you did that last week?
I know.
I know we're still on, everyone. You don't have to text me and stuff. I got it. We're not going to start swearing or anything like that. Maybe we should.
Really?
No.
No.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.